I think we're going to be observing a minute's silence, Craig. I'll just get you to... and of course, we should also mention the passing of Jeff Blacker recently, who was we mentioned that in our podcast, and a long-time Tigers man, and our condolences to him and his family and all his friends here at DCO. We'll pause for a minute's silence. And once again, we extend our condolences. Damien Briscoe back in the fold, in charge of first grade tonight. 40 minutes each way, Group 6 Rugby League, ready to rock and roll for 2021. It's the Tigers and the Workers. Craig, which way are you going?
I'll go wait for the first 10 minutes and see. See the softening up period first.
I won't say it too loudly, but I'm not tipping the locals. I think the visitors might get away with it. Damien Briscoe says, we are go for 2021. Group 6 Rugby League is away on Macarthur Sports Radio. And the Workers running left to right in the first half, attacking the Burragarang Road end of the ground. Have the ball just short of the 20-metre line. Alec Bush in dummy half. Goes to the left-hand side. That looks like Vandermeulen taking an early hit up. He'll play it now just outside the 20. Bush goes short side left. That looks like Tyson Lakini, one of the new signings. In fact, that's the look forward there in Kyle Fraser taking it forward. Bush. In fact, that's Brasington, Mitchell Brasington kicking downfield early in the count. Finds Daniel Smith at the back for the Tigers. Has it 8 short of halfway. Plays it now. Out of dummy half, Rumsby goes to the left-hand side. 2 and 3 in the tackle there. Jason Thompson among them, making the tackle. 5 short of halfway. This time, hit and spin on the right. Tigers not really making any real ground in this first set. They've had 3 or 4 tackles and only making a handful of metres. Rumsby to the right. That's the big front rower in Lucchini taking it forward.
That's a strong hit up.
That's a very strong run from the number 8. Now Chris Green, the new halfback in Tigers colours, puts a kick downfield. Sits up nicely for Jake Stedman, the fullback. Beats the first, doesn't beat the second, just about out to the quarter. Plays it about 18 metres out, 15 in. On the eastern side of the ground, rather. Broadcasting from the eastern side of Dudley Chesham tonight, as per usual. That's big Hamish Oxley, another one who's made the migration east in the off-season. And the first penalty of the season goes the way of Oakdale for a high tackle. Bit of work on the neck there, according to referee Briscoe. So the first penalty of the night goes the way of the visitors, and they will find touch about 30 metres out. First real attacking rate of the night for the Oakdale side. Thompson takes it off the tap, makes about 5 or 6 metres, plays it 25 out. Bush into dummy half. Oakdale in their white jerseys tonight. Tigers in their traditional gold with the white V and the black shorts. Oakdale about 17 metres from the line. Bush into dummy half. Looks like one of the Oakdale players that might be Cruz Robinson, one of the new recruits. Looks like he's in a bit of trouble. He's certainly sucking in the big ones there. Big number 8, Bush to the left-hand side. They've got numbers out that way, but the Tigers' defence is up in numbers to match it. Mitchell Brasington in the highlighter green boots stumbles at the key moment. Brother Matthew at first receiver to the right-hand side. He's calling for it. He gets it now from Alec Bush. Puts it through the hands. Thompson tries the hit and spin. Gets on the whirling dervish out the back to Brasington of the Matthew variety. Hamish Oxley for the corner with the acrobatic dive. He's over the Workers lead at 4-0 early for Forte Financial on the replay for F2 Sports, where that was nice down the touchline from the Workers.
And wouldn't there be a big smile on the face of Hamish Oxley scoring against his club where he played 12 seasons of football? It must be unusual for the players to be running out of the away sheds for the first time after a long time of seasons.
It would be a strange feeling, no doubt. Not having been in that position, I wouldn't know, but I would imagine it would be quite unusual to come to a ground that you know so well. And it looks like he's having a bit of a chuckle with a few of the Tigers officials here tonight, so it doesn't look like there's too much bad blood between Oxley and the Tigers here. But that would have been very satisfying for the big winger.
We just need a cattle dog call at the first scrum.
The problem is they're all in the back line, bar Vandermeer, and they're all backs.
And the problem is the one punch rule.
Mind you, have you ever seen Mitchell Brasington throw a punch? I know this will get
No,
back to him.
I don't think I
Have you ever
have.
seen him throw anything other than a
handbag?
Yeah, that's about the extent of his fighting ability, isn't it?
That'll get back.
Yeah, I know it will. Brasington sends it on its way across the face of goal. No goal. Remains 4-0. Oakdale lead the Oaks. We've had 5 minutes in the first half for Forte Financial Services. For F2 Sportswear, it's Craig Davis on Group 6 League Live.
It's a good start. Both sides are taking the ball up hard, but I think Oakdale's just got a little bit more flair in the back line at the moment. But it's still that initial hit in the first lot. The Oaks have got to make sure that they stop the offloads.
Now the restart. Chris Green, designated kicker. They do have a very handy kicker out there in the number 6, Michael Midson.
Well, actually, now you mentioned that, Mike, I was talking to one of the officials from the Oaks, and they said he's never kicked a goal in his life.
Who's that? Chris Green?
No, the 5'8" Midson. He's not a goal kicker. He's not even in their top 3 goal kickers. That's what I got told last night. They said, whoever told Mike that he can kick goals is absolutely wrong.
Well, I saw it myself because he was playing for Camden Rugby last year and kicking them from 40-plus metres. That's how I know, because I saw him do it every week.
The guys were telling me last night that he doesn't kick and he's not their goal kicker, and he won't.
Wow.
3 other blokes have got to fall down injured before he'll kick for the Oaks. So I don't know how true it is. I was just saying it's what I got told last night. So
I'll believe that when I see it, but I've seen Middo kick them from all parts of Wire Lane during the season. So that's what I got.
You sure it's the same one?
Oh, one and only, I'm certain. Especially with a couple of his colleagues in the Tigers lineup. Speaking of which, they have a penalty here. The Oaks, they'll take the tap and go pay wave style. Ben Scambry still in the black and gold. He didn't leave town.
There are some
people suggesting he might have got shot.
Seriously, there are some people that will never leave their clubs no matter what they're offered, and Ben's one of them. I've got to say, Ben is one of them, and the scorer sitting next to me here at the Oaks was another one too.
Yes, he's wearing a jersey out of about 1955. That one. As we see the Tigers on the attack, and they'll get another penalty here, two in quick succession, not releasing. It's good to be back at the footy, Craig. All in good fun, but yes,
And as we were talking to Damien Briscoe earlier tonight when he first got here, and he said, nothing is better than a Saturday night game of football.
Oh,
he said the players have a chance to have a few beers, unwind after the game, and sleep it off on Sunday rather than going straight to work.
From our point of view, it's an extra game that we get to cover each week, and often a lot of the teams.
It's an extra nail in the coffin than the missus gives me.
I look at it that we get extra chances to promote local teams and cover teams that may not get a game otherwise. Right. Often a lot of the teams.
And we were saying last night about the Goannas. I was talking to one or two of them last night.
Yeah.
They said they'll struggle because they'll struggle for combinations, but they're not going to give up.
Yeah. And that certainly was the case last year. We'll continue with that in a second, but yeah, that was certainly the case last year in the lower grades as we see the Tigers on the attack. There's Midson putting a little grubber kick through, coming off an Oakdale leg, and the referee, Damien Briscoe, agreed, saying it'll be a Tigers ball. It'll be a Tigers scrum feed here. So on the attack early on the Oaks. First scrum of the evening goes the way of the home side. We've had 8 minutes in the first half. It's 4-0 Oakdale lead the Oaks in the Battle of Burragrang. Saturday night footy. Mike Sheen and Craig Davis with you on Macarthur Sports Radio. I hope you're enjoying the coverage tonight wherever you're tuned in around the region, around the country, around the world. Welcome to Group 6 Rugby League in the southwest of Sydney. There's Green at first receiver. Long ball out wide, picked up on the half volley beautifully by Terence Dodd. And he's brought down 12 metres out. Ball comes loose. Referee's going to say penalty. That was a 50-50 call in my opinion, but went the way of the home fans. Black and Golds won't object. So penalty count on our sheet for Case Statewide Solar is 3-1 in favour of the Oaks. As we see the Tigers on the attack early on. Can they find some points here at DCO tonight? That'll bring the home fans to life. They've got numbers on the right-hand side. Ball's out the back, gone into touch. And the Gucci's are out. The Gucci's are out early. They're getting restless here at DCO. Not a surprise to anybody. The natives are restless. We haven't even got through 10 minutes and already they're exchanging pleasantries.
They're just welcoming the Oak players back, the Oakdale boys that left, just giving them a Dudley Chesson welcome, that's all.
And back to the pub. We'll buy the first beer, being the home team. We'll
join us tonight for a beer in the sheds, and then we'll see where we go to from here.
Yeah. We'll put the first one on. After that, it's up to you. The Oakdale bench going for a...
So it looks like it may be penalties going to be given to the Oaks, because he's got all the Oakdale boys back on the line, or they...
No, I don't take anything out of that. He's just separated the two teams, Damien Briscoe. He's got the Oaks almost back on the quarter and Oakdale almost back on their try line. So good.
Touch is coming in, giving them a report.
Giving his report from the western side.
He's calling Brasington over.
He's not the captain, though, this year, the number 6.
Well, he may be calling him over because he's in trouble.
Surely not a Brasington in trouble at DCO. That did never happen. He's been given a caution, and now we're going to see, that looks like the lock forward in Aaron Farkas, who's the skipper over there with, just trying to pick up who that is. Might have been Bailey King, the winger out there.
Although Brasington's picked up the ball, so it looks like the penalty
Time
is
back
going
on,
to
and yep, penalty to the workers for a push, I think it was. So penalty count 3-2 for Case Statewide Solar. Proud sponsors of Group 6 League Live in 2021. We welcome them on board tonight. Oxley, as is his wont, takes it from the tap. 34 metres out from the line. Plays it now, Bush. Goes to the right-hand side. Had a runner there, but the Tigers' defence up in numbers early on. Certainly a good start here from both sides. That was the other winger there going for a run in Levi McLean with the long hair. Push into dummy half. It's at 5 short of halfway. Mitchell Brasington knows every centimetre of this ground better than just about anybody. Puts a kick downfield, sits up on the volley for the Tigers fullback in Daniel Smith. And the referee's going to say he's lost it. He has. Checked with his assistant on the eastern side, on the broadcast side, and the call came through. Yes, it was lost in the tackle, so it'll be a scrum feed to Oakdale, 20 metres out, 20 metres in, eastern side of the ground. They lead it by 4. Good even start early on this game tonight, Craig.
A couple of mistakes are starting to creep in now, but as you said, it is an even start. Whoever controls the ball in the next 10 minutes is going to. Then we'll see how the game's going to progress.
Now, we did talk about it pre-game, but this crowd tonight is an absolute belter of a crowd. I was here about 4 o'clock, and I was lucky to snare a parking spot where I did. It is jam-packed tonight at DCO. They're lined along the touch lines on the eastern and western sides. The southern end, for those who know the northern end rather, for those who know the ground. The Burragrang Road end is not quite full to capacity, but pretty close. And the parking on the western side, they're well deep.
Mate, everybody's been dying for a game of football since last season. It's
and throw in the love between these two teams and the movements that have happened.
Yeah, and the fact that because of the player movement, I think has got a lot to do with it.
As well. So no doubt plenty of people decided to come along, get a bit of footy into them early in the season, not much earlier than match one. Had a knock on from the Tigers here, so Oakdale with the scrum feed. 10 metres out, 20 metres in. Eastern side. And check the clock for AWPM Civil, 27 minutes remaining in the first half. They switch to the short side here. Oakdale on the attack. Only a few metres out from the line. That's Josh Burke, the former Kangaroo.
They're lined out to the left, and I don't know why they went right then.
Matthew finds the front rower there. That's Archie Allen, one of the new signings for Oakdale this year. If you have to bear with you, I'm not familiar with some of these new players in the red and black. There's Jake Stedman chiming in from fullback, gave the ball out wide, had a man on his left but couldn't get through the Tiger defence. There was two and three there to greet him. Only a couple of metres from the line. Short ball out of dummy half, crash ball towards the line. Defence holds strong, they'll push him out, they'll hold him up. We'll go back to the 10 for a play the ball. So good defence here from the Tigers. They've only been broken the once with Oxley in the corner after 4 minutes. And that's our scoreline, 4-0 Oakdale over the Oaks for Forte Financial Services.
They've tightened their online goal defence, the Oaks.
Certainly have.
In the last few minutes.
Mitchell for Matthew, turns it inside for Thompson, the skipper. Pops it out the back, good ball, second phase. Matthew at first receiver, trying to stutter step his way through the line. Couldn't quite get through this time. Bush into dummy half. Mitchell's directing traffic. As Stedman out the back, goes wider, finds Burke. Burke on the last, can't get through the line. There's 3 and 4 there to greet him and make sure he does not proceed. It'll be a turnover on the last. 4-0 Oakdale lead it for Forte Financial Services.
It's much better try line defence by the Oaks. Oakdale's had the ball, the last 2-3 sets? It's 6 down there?
They've had the majority of the ball the last 5 minutes or so. And they cannot get through as yet. Tigers looking to record their first points of the season. And another penalty for a leg pull this time goes the way of the home side. That's the 4th on our sheet for the night. The case statewide Solar. We welcome them on board this season. And that kick will find touch just above our broadcast position on halfway. On the eastern side of Dudley Chesham Oval, I'm Mike Sheen. That's Craig Davis. Great to have you along. New season of Group 6 Rugby League is back. And we're loving it here at DCO tonight. Tomorrow, we're off to Kirkham. Camden and Narellan join us from 2. We'll have all the pre-game build-up before the big game at 2:30. The Rams and the Jets for round 1.
Yeah, there's only 2 games there tomorrow, Mike. The ladies and the 18s have both been deferred due to representative players from both clubs in representative sides. So it's been deferred. So the first game of the day is the reserve grade.
Is reserve grade at 1 o'clock. We'll be on just after 2 with kick-off at 2:30. As we see the Tigers on the attack here. There's Green trying to spin his way on the whirling dervish. Can't get out the other side. Plays it a dozen from the line on the last. Looking for an option. There's Smith. Puts a little grubber kick through the line. Stedman was there to clean it up. He won't get back. It'll be a line dropout for the workers under their own posts at the southern end of the ground.
That was a much better attacking set from the Oaks. I'll get a repeat set here.
Certainly looked a lot more settled in attack that time, the Tigers. So the dropout from the southern end. Mitchell Brasington puts it 42 on the fly, picked up on the halfway. Smith gives it off. That's Tyson Lakini, one of the new signings this year for the Tigers. Plays it 32 out from the line. Rumsby to the left-hand side, finds Scambry. He'll be a regular. In fact, that's not Scambry. I think that might be, that's the other front rower. In fact, that's Kyle Green. Now it's Scambry on the left edge, working his way forward inside the 20 by a couple. 15 in from touch. Referee says penalty, hands in the ruck. Hands in the ruck is the penalty. 5-2 the count for case statewide Solar. in favour of the Tigers. Huge crowd here, pensively watching on. There's the lock forward, taking it up. That's the skipper, Aaron Farkas, in the 13. Got a very quick play the ball. That was a lightning quick play the ball. Got it out to the right-hand side. Found his second rower in Cam Graham, the former Jet, now in the Tigers' colours. They play it back. There's Smith out of first receiver, trying to stutter his way through the line. Won't find anything this time. Only a metre or two out. Can almost smell the chalk at the southern end of the ground. Back it comes. Farkas. Out wide, Scambry takes on the line. Can he get the ball away? He does. Got it away nicely to Ennis. Ennis to within 2 or 3 of the line. Plays it back now. Here's Green. Long ball out wide. Finds the front rower there in Kyle Green. Green to within 8 metres of the line under the black and gold upright. At the southern end of the ground on the last. Green puts the Fred Flintstone into the in goal. Oakdale there in numbers to cover it. Can they get back into the field of play? Yes, they can. Good work there from Oakdale. Finding their way back into the field of play as they come out of their own end now. Oakdale finding easy metres. Almost up to the quarter now when they play it. Been a good quality start to the game tonight. As we approach.
It'd be interesting to know the completion rate.
Be very high from both sides.
It is.
22 minutes remaining on the AWPM civil clock in the first half. It's Oakdale 4, the Oaks 0. The Battle of Burragarang. I'm Mike Sheen. That's Craig Davis. Great to be with you tonight from Dudley Chesham Oval at the Oaks. As we see Dodd slammed into the DCO turf.
Ouch.
Just short of halfway. 20 in from touch. First change for the Tigers. Kyle Green coming off. Going on his jersey 15, Jack Dolan. One of these new recruits this year. And then also going on in jersey 14 will be Kyle Bell.
Yeah, Jack was from Camden Rugby.
Yes, he's one of the new signings in the off-season. Good, he'll be a good front rower.
He's dating Matt Brennan's daughter, Kiara.
Oh, right, so you know him very well.
So I know Jack quite well.
Yes, I've watched Jack play for the last season or so out at Wire Lane with the Rams, and will be a good acquisition for the Tigers this year.
Yeah, once he gets the knowledge of the game a bit better, he'll be a big asset for the Oaks.
And one that I'd put a watch on is the number 17 in the program. He's listed as Josh Morgan. We know him as Josh Instatoris, good running back rower. Can find a gap and find a bit of space as well, Josh Instatoris. He'll come on tonight in the 17 jersey for the Tigers. As we see Oakdale taking it over the 40 now, their own side of halfway. Come back now for the kick. It's Matthew Brasington. Puts it high into the night sky. Smith takes it nicely. Takes on Josh Burke. Gets around him. Takes on the defensive line on the 30 and gets pulled to ground. Centre field, 20 short of halfway. They come back to the left-hand side now. The Tigers. The Oaks in their traditional gold with the white V and black trim.
They're calling for the time.
Oakdale in the... 20. Pretty much right on there. Now the Tigers just over halfway by about 4 or 5 metres. A kick downfield. Not a bad looking kick, but that'll be too deep. And touching goal back to the 20 we come for a 7 tackle set. And now we're going to have a drinks break after 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's the part of the new protocol. It's a bit different than last year where they actually had quarter time.
Yep.
But now it's just a 2-minute drink break. And then as soon as the breaking play around the 20-minute mark happens, the referee gets the siren from the tower and then he calls a break.
We'll take a break right now. The score is 4-0 Oakdale.
Don't forget, if your business is looking to break into the local advertising market or your current advertising package is not working for you, come and join the MacArthur Sports Radio family. With a range of sports covered throughout winter and summer and packages to suit all budgets, the team at MacArthur Sports Radio can tailor a package to suit your needs. Call today on 0490 403 933 or Google MacArthur Sports Radio or simply find us on Facebook. MacArthur Sports Radio, MacArthur's home for live sport.
Whether it's a polo, playing kit or an entire club's apparel supply you need, make sure you get in touch with the team at F2 Sportswear. F2 Sportswear can design a new strip for your team with a range of sports covered, including football, AFL, rugby union and basketball. F2 Sportswear can produce a kit for as little as 10 units, with quick turnarounds on orders being completed in around 4 weeks. Head to f2sportswear.com.au for more information or a quote on your next uniform. F2 Sportswear are proud sponsors and clothing suppliers of Macarthur Sports Radio. Back here at DCO, we're back underway. The second quarter of this one, it's 4-0 Oakdale. Penalty to the Workers, not rolling away, and the tackle is the ruling from referee Briscoe. Mitchell Brasington kicking for this eastern touch line. Finds the line 30 metres out. Oakdale standing out in their alternate white jersey tonight. They wear the traditional black strip with the red trim at home. Heavy tackle there on the 16. That's Ben Whitehouse.
Must have a lot of money if they can have two sets of jerseys, Mike. What do you reckon?
Well, I was speaking to Russell Lewis earlier today, who advised that they have had a donation to allow for the second set of jerseys.
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd have to have a bit of money on your side to be able to pay for 2 sets of jerseys.
Yeah, well, I know there's been a donation made to allow for the second set, so they've had to change a few jersey numbers tonight as a result. But an error from the Tigers here, seeing a scrum feed to Oakdale. 20 metres, just inside the 20, just to the left of centre field. 4-0 the score line.
Still 4-0.
Yeah, just checking the clock for AWPM Civil. 18 minutes remaining first half. Welcome them on board in 2021. Half-time will do the rounds for the Beer Shed. Holly Lee Road, Lemire. Good evening to Jai Kemp and the crew at the Beer Shed. They've got numbers on the outside. Josh Burke. That's far too easy from the number 4. Did it all himself, beat the man, and after that it was trytime.com. He's in. And it's 8-0 now for Forte Financial. The replay for F2 Services. That was all the number 4 from the Workers.
He just got the ball and tucked it under his arm, went for the line, and Vax couldn't hold him out.
So it's 8 points to 0 Oakdale.
And just letting you know around the grounds, the Melbourne Storm 18, Bulldogs 6.
That's an NRL update for Case Statewide Solar.
I think it's the first points that the Bulldogs have scored in 4 matches.
It'll be something like that, yes. Could well be the last points they score as well, but you know.
Craig Bellamy will not be happy. I would have loved to have seen.
When is he?
Would have loved to have seen his reaction in the coach's box after the Bulldogs scored.
When is Bellyache ever happy, Craig? Honestly, when is he ever happy? No, it wouldn't have been a.
Yeah, they scored in the 21st minute. Melbourne had scored in the 3rd, the 11th, and the 16th, and they scored in the 21st. And it was Luke Thompson, the Englishman, first game back from suspension. So
Mitchell Brasington lines up this shot at goal. Sends it on its way. The Breezes push that out to the right. He's done from 2 tonight. It remains 8-0 for Forte Financial. Oakdale lead the Oaks.
And isn't the Oaks crowd letting Brazo know that he's not kicking goals?
Well, to be fair, on that occasion, the Breeze did get hold of that.
I don't think the crowd cares if it's the Breeze or not.
I suspect the spectators couldn't give a continental
and
why.
then the Oakdale fans are saying, well, why couldn't you have done that against us in the semi-final a couple of years ago?
2 years ago, 20 metres out. I was only talking with our esteemed colleague up here in the broadcast box earlier about that fateful afternoon in late August 2019. Having a rather large Oakdale player standing about 3 feet to my right as I called that conversion attempt.
Did you fear for your safety, Michael?
On multiple levels. I'll tell you who it was later and you'll understand why. As we get back underway with the play, we might drop that in the podcast this week. What do you reckon? Group 6 extra time, check it out online.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, podcast drops every week. Craig and I talk about all things Group 6 and have a bit of fun along the way, much to the delight of all our listeners. If you haven't checked it out, go online, have a listen. And
feel free to tell us when we make a mistake.
Let us know what you think. We don't mind. Just be nice to us, but let us know what you think. As we see Oakdale coming out of their own end. That's a good run upfield. That's the 16 in Ben Whitehouse over the halfway line by about 8 metres. Out of dummy half they come. Mitchell Brasington through the hands. Burke on the last. Little grubber kick through the line is a nice one. Will it sit up? Sits up for Daniel Smith. Takes on Oxley and Burke. Stedman was there for company as well. He'll play it 9 metres out from the line. They come to the right-hand side. That's Farkas with the aqua headgear on tonight. The skipper, the new skipper in 2021. As we see the Tigers coming out of their own end. Back to the right-hand side now, up the middle. That's a great run upfield from the Oaks. Over the halfway line, looking for support, draws support, finds his outside centre there in Luke Gibson, who will run away and score under the uprights at the southern end of the ground. The Tigers are in. It's 8-4 for Forte Financial, and the Gucci's are out at 20 paces.
I have to say, that would probably be the try of the night so far. The ball movement there, the break up the middle, I thought he was going to blow it, but then he drew the fullback, gave it to his centre, who just sprinted away and went under the posts.
That was a lovely piece of work on the F2 Sportswear replay. That was a nice break downfield. I think that was the, was that? Yeah, I'm just trying to pick up who that was. Yeah, I think you're right. It could have been Josh Graham who made the break downfield and drew Gibson nicely, drew the fullback, found Gibson, and from there it was one-way traffic to the line. The centre goes in for the opening try of the season for the Tigers. It'll be Aaron Farkas to line up the shot at goal. Could have been Josh Instatoris, actually. Yeah, you're right. Farkas with the conversion attempt from directly in front. Drives it deep into the night sky. Flags are raised. It's 8-6. Oakdale lead the Oaks.
It was good. The Oaks had to bounce back and score next. Otherwise, it might have got away from them. But that was a great piece of work for the... I think it was one of the back rowers that made the break up the middle of the ruck. Yeah, and just when we thought he was going to run out of energy, he looked inside, found the inside centre.
Yeah, he was looking for his man. Drew the fullback.
He found Gibson, drew the fullback. And once Gibson got the ball, that was it. There was no way they were going to stop him.
No, certainly not. He was away. So now it's 8-6 in favour of the Workers, 13 to the break for Forte Financial Services.
Much better passage of play there by the Oaks.
Yes, definitely.
Because that set of 6 started off, they were quite bunched on their own line. Then all of a sudden that break happened. And
yeah. Mitchell Brasington with a high restart into the breeze. That sits up nicely on the bounce. Got a room service delivery to the halfback Chris Green, who's been in just about everything tonight, the number 7. Had a very active start to the game in his club debut tonight. Don't know a lot about Chris Green. I'll have to do a
little. There's a lot of players on debut tonight. Even though there's old heads out there, and they're on debuts for their new clubs.
Yeah, well, got the Graham brothers playing for the Tigers tonight. We all know their pedigree, but a lot of the Tigers players in particular don't know a lot about many of these players. Whereas
a couple of them come from Camden Rugby.
Yes, but they're probably the only ones besides
the only ones that you'd know about because of your involvement calling the rugby.
Yeah, besides them, I really don't know a lot about this Tigers scene. Terence Dodd snatched at one he should have held. It was an easy pass. He put it down. And it'll be a knock-on from the Tigers. But yeah, there's another man. Don't know a lot about him, so have to find out, do a bit of intel and find out a bit about these boys.
Oh, okay. There you go, Chris Green's from Wynnum Manly, the Queensland State Cup.
Oh, very good. So he's certainly coming with a high background.
Yeah, Glenn's just gave me the nod on Chris, so he's come from the Canterbury Cup. Not the Canterbury, whatever, the Queensland State Cup, whatever they call them up there.
Competition, yeah. That's a very...
And Wynnum Manly is one of the strong clubs up there,
too.
Yeah,
I was going to say, coming from Wynnum, that's a big club. You can see down on the touchline, Ricky Small about to come on. Jersey 17 for the Workers. Couple of jump.
He's another one that's been around a fair bit. Ricky played at Narellan, played at Campbelltown City.
Yeah, he's been around for a while, but
he played a year at the Oaks. Now he's at Oakdale.
Yeah, club debut, but certainly well known around the traps.
I think he's played at Oakdale before.
Yeah.
When he was at Narellan, he went to Oakdale when Mark DeBargo took over the coaching job. Because Mark brought Ricky to Narellan and then took him to Oakdale with him.
Oakdale with him, yeah. That was a few years ago as well.
Yeah, that was
Just
quite a few years
off the
ago,
top of my head. That was a few seasons back when Mark was in charge. A little bit of afters in the tackle there. 25 metres out. Mitchell Brasington finds Matthew. Good short ball on the outside. Had a runner there. Ball out the back. Kept alive. Second phase ball for the workers here. A little bit of ad-lib football. Comes to ground. 19 metres out from the Oakdale attacking line. They come to the right-hand side. Mitchell Brasington finds Jason Thompson. Put the grubber kick through at the second attempt. Dummied the first time. Made it on the second. Cleaned up at the back by the Oaks though. 2 metres out from their own line in the northeastern corner of the ground. Appealing for a high tackle. Referee Briscoe says no. Out of dummy half. Good little scoot there. This time they'll get the penalty. And never square according to referee Briscoe.
That'll relieve the pressure on the Oaks because they were trapped in their own 20, 30 metre zone. So
deep in their own
that'll get them out of trouble.
Deep in their own end. So they'll be relieved to get that penalty. They'll take a kick for touch. Steering in the background. 9 minutes remaining on the AWPM civil clock. First half, ball goes sailing over our commentary box. Apologies if you did hear that. Jason Thompson looked like he might have been off a fraction early. Referee not blowing it this time. It was Dolan taking it forward. There's Farkas, the skipper. Inside the half, Kyle Bell, we know his name and what he brings. There's Midson, dancing, weaving, trying to find a little bit of open space. Number 6 loses it out the back. Penalty, hands in the ruck. Hope he wasn't trying to lay that back for a ruck there, Middo.
Quite possibly.
It's quite possible. I hope he didn't, but we'll give him the benefit. There's Dolan, another front rower, a new signing. He'll be a good addition.
No, that's Josh Graham. That's why I know it wasn't him doing the offload, because different body shape.
Ah, you're right. There's Josh Graham with the run, but the ball's come loose. Oakdale have it inside their own 20. Ticking down to half-time. 7.5 remaining for AWPM Civil. And penalty to the workers to the relief of their supporters. Their 4th of the night for Case Statewide Solar. Penalty count on our sheet is 7-4. Ball crashes into the roof of the broadcast box above us. Good run from Burke from the tap. Been a high tempo game tonight, Craig, with very few breaks in play. Been a few penalties, but not many breaks in play. Here's the 16 taking it forward for the workers. That's Ben Whitehouse. I think
So Alex Bush must be off because Jermaine Howley is at
Hall's on in 14.
He's at dummy half now.
Yeah, he's on in the 14, Jermaine Hall. Club debut for him as well. So we see the workers inside the 30 now by a couple of metres. Pretty well centre field at the northern end. There's Hall out of dummy half, finds Mitchell Brasington, takes on the line and gets upended. Didn't the Tigers fans love that? The club favourite put on his back and dumped. Matthew Brasington kicks over the top. The mark was taken. In fact, it was not taken. It was 6 more. Stolen by Oakdale. They're on the attack. 2 metres out. Ball out the back. Shovel ball. Try corner. Try Oakdale in the corner. It was double time. Quick hands. And they got it down in the corner. It's 12 points to 4 for Forte Financial. 12 points to 6 rather for Forte Financial. 5 minutes to the break.
It's a lottery, isn't it, once it goes up in the air? Especially on a night like this when the wind's swirling around, it's pretty hard to take a high ball under that much pressure.
We're just trying to confirm the try scorer. We think it was Levi McLean, but we'll just confirm that in a moment. But it's 12 points to 6 for Forte Financial in favour of Oakdale over the Oaks. Tonight at Dudley Chesham Oval, kick-off looming up. Under an hour for Thirlmere and Picton at Thirlmere tonight. Hope you're enjoying the coverage wherever you are. Through Group 6 League Live and Macarthur Sports Radio, the Macarthur's sports leader. Mitchell Brasington, none from 2 tonight.
In the NRL, after 34 minutes, Storm 22, Bulldogs 6.
Okay, so as you were for the Storm. Brasington, 20 out. Western side sends it on its way. Flags are raised this time. Sure, that'll be
Well, this time it was kicking in the direction of the wind, not into the wind. So I think the wind was helpful for him there.
And knowing this ground as well as he does, I'm sure he would have factored that in. 14-6 for Forte Financial, 4 minutes to the break. So back to halfway. A bit of time for the restart. Chris Green now. Puts it high into the night sky. Taken by the Tigers. Opponents in Oakdale. Off the back fence they come to the 20 and over by a couple. They'll come to the right-hand side. Looked like the familiar frame of Hamish Oxley. It was. Ball through the hands. Matthew Brasington found Levi McLean, the try scorer, the most recent one. That was a sloppy play the ball, and the referee says no. No, lost ball, turnover.
Yeah, he's popping up all over the place, McLean. He's on the far wing, but he's always around the middle of the ruck. And
yeah, not afraid to get in there and do some work, Levi McLean. But that was not his best effort.
a pretty ordinary play the ball.
Yeah, from up here you can tell quite easily that was not going to be.
There was only one result that was going to be, and that was going to be scrum in the middle of the field.
Yep, and that's
there was no chance of a strip or hands in or anything. It was just a pretty poor. He got up and just played it very poorly.
Yeah. Can we get on to Kempton Police? We had a murder of a play the ball there, as we see the Tigers now on the attack.
And two in the tackle strip.
Penalty to the Tigers. Luke Gibson taking it forward.
Yeah, there was two players in there, and then the ball come flying out, and it was definitely stripped by the Oakdale Workers player.
Got a Tigers player down in back play here, Craig. Keep an eye on that. As we see the Tigers 15 metres out from the line, southern end of the ground, on the western side.
He's holding his ankle, whatever it is.
That's a shocking pass. It's going to be a double knock on. First one from the Tigers.
The last couple of minutes, it's got a bit scrappy, hasn't it?
Yes. Yeah, a bit scrappy the last couple of
I
minutes.
think it's a case of it's getting close to half-time. The players have had, with a lot of the rain we've had, there hasn't been a lot of trials and hit-outs with the club. So this is really their first major hit-out of the season. A couple of these clubs have had trials, but not as many as they would have liked.
No, certainly.
Certainly Narellan are going in tomorrow without having a trial.
And I would suspect
I don't think Camden have had one.
I was going to say, I don't think Camden have, and many of the clubs would be in a similar position.
Yeah.
Many of the clubs would.
I know Thelmy had a trial against the Oaks. Oakdale trialled against the Goannas. That was more like a training run for the Oakdale side. They scored 17 tries to.
Oh, okay.
So it was a.
Thankfully, that wasn't for premiership points from a Goannas point of view.
But the Goannas were offered at half time to call the game, and they said no, we want to play and we want to work on our combinations.
We want to keep going.
Credit to them for sticking it out.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, there's a couple of familiar names in that that Goannas lineup. A couple of familiar names that we've seen. So
there's a couple of guys playing that have played rugby union. So you probably know who they are.
Yeah, certainly.
Once you see their names.
Yeah, certainly a few names that I am familiar with and have seen around the trap. So yeah, it's going to be an interest. I think City's a good matchup first up for them, just quietly. I think over at Fullwood they would go in quietly confident that they might be able to spring an upset.
Yeah, whoever they got, he's coming off injured, Mike. He's limping off the field now, so.
Yeah.
So that's the try scorer, Luke Gibson, coming off.
Gibson made the run and
so that
left leg doesn't look too.
They'll have to reshuffle their back line now.
Yeah, it looks like just the way he's walking, a lower leg injury, left leg.
Oh, I'm going to take a stab and say syndesmosis. What do you reckon?
The first of many bad ones from Craig Davis.
High ankle strain, syndesmosis.
2 weeks?
Oh, possibly 2.
No, that's for you.
Oh, for me. No, I think I need 3 weeks.
I can make it 4 if you like. Can I get 5? Back underway here inside the final 2 minutes of the first half. It's Oakdale 14 leading the Oaks 6.
Send money.
Needs bail money, that's for sure. Well, actually, I need the bail money to put up with you for the next 17 weeks. It's all good fun here on Group 6 League Live. The Tigers having to defend. Shadows of half-time. Been a good start to the game tonight. Been a good first half.
There's been shadows all game with the lights, mate. Don't worry with the shadows of half-time. It's the shadows of the lights.
That's his second for the night.
Is it 3 strikes and I'm out?
Something like that. That's 2-0. That's a 2-0 count. Oakdale just over halfway now. Clock showing 45 odd seconds for a WPM Civil. Half-time break coming up for the Beer Shed. Holly Road, Lemire. Mitchell Brasington popped it over the top. Tried a cute little kick for his brother Mitchell, but it sat up in the wind and taken easily by Josh Instatoris. And brought to ground 40 metres out from his own line. I'll be content to play it out here. The Tigers. Nothing too fancy from them.
What do you reckon, Mike? What have we got? We're looking at 20 seconds, enough for 2 plays?
Yeah, probably 2 plays left. 3 if they're lucky. As they work it out to the left-hand side. Can they break the line? Almost getting through and coming out the other side. I think that was Jake Ennis, the centre there. It was. He'll play it now. There's the siren in the background for half-time. Tackle is made and completed. Everybody says thank you very much. We'll take a break. They'll head to the rooms. We'll head for a drink. Half-time here at DCO. Match 1, round 1, season 2021. Oakdale 14, the Oaks 6. We'll be back with the half-time wrap in a moment on Macarthur Sports Radio.
We'll be back shortly to bring you the best of the on-field action from the team of Group 6 League Live.
The average person spends 44 minutes a day thinking about food. At Oz Harvest, thinking about food is a full-time job because we're always looking for new ways to nourish our country and combat food waste and hunger. Every day, we rescue quality surplus food across Australia and deliver it to those who'd otherwise go hungry. And you can help. Every dollar donated to Oz Harvest can provide 2 meals to people in need. Visit ozharvest.org. Thought for food.
15, 16.
Yeah,
We could give it to anyone.
Yeah, right now it's a very open affair. Just about ready. The players back on the field for the second half. 14-6 the scoreline. Oakdale lead the Oaks in the Battle of Burragarang. Damien Briscoe says, let's get it going, boys. Game on, second half. As we see the workers defending the Burragarang Road end of the ground in this second 40 minutes. And the Tigers running from left to right as we look at it on the replays you'll see online. They're in the gold and black, running from right to left on your TV. But
First penalty of the second half.
Goes the way of the Tigers. Penalty count on my sheet is 8-4 for Case Statewide Solar. We welcome one of our new sponsors on in Case Statewide Solar. That halftime wrap for the Beer Shed. Beer Shed Brewing Co. Holly Road, Lemire. Craig, we were there for our season launch a few weeks ago. Been a little while since we were...
I recommend the ginger beer.
Oh, I tell you what, that
ginger beer was really nice.
That goes down a treat, doesn't it? I've even convinced the silent partner to get onto that. And she thought it was quite impressive as well. So, yes, highly recommend that one, Giant, the team out there. You're onto a winner there. I think it might even have a Picton name to it. I'm not certain. But if you go and see the crew at the Beer Shed, Holly Road, Lemire, they will certainly look after you. Whole range of beers available.
Yeah, and tell them you heard them first on Macarthur Sports Radio.
That's right. The Group 6 League Live team on Macarthur Sports Radio sent you down there. Plenty of good food to be had. The food trucks are there regularly. And I think I did see Travis Collins, the country music singer, has got 2 shows at the Beer Shed coming up shortly.
I know they've had a comedy night there once or twice.
They've had a few comedy nights there, and I know Travis Collins is performing soon. I don't know the exact date, but if you head to the Beer Shed Facebook page and social media. It's all there to see the details. This first show's been sold out. He's put a second show on at the Beer Shed. One of our major sponsors in 2021. If you want to join them and join us here on Macarthur Sports Radio, get involved. Drop us a line via social media or email macarthursportsradio@gmail.com. Back to the football now. The Tigers on the attack, only 5 or 6 metres out from the line. Tucking to our right, the northern end. It's a nice little run from Midson. Trying to take on the line, nearly came out the other side, played it quickly. Out of dummy half, Bell found a man, got it away, play on the call for the corner, he got there! Got it down in the corner. That was Bailey King doing the fancy footwork. And the touch judge says all clear, right to pay, try time, Tigers. It's 14-10 for Forte Financial, 3 minutes gone, second half. That was a nice piece of play down the short side as we look at the replay for F2 Sportswear.
And as we said, we believed that the Oaks had to be the next to score, and they've come out in the second half off the back of early penalties given away by the workers. And I think that the discipline may be coming back to haunt them if they give away too many penalties. As you said, what the penalty counts, 8-4 or something?
Oh, I've got it at 9-4 at the moment.
9-4, so that's, it's more than 2-1. So the penalty count, the workers are going to have to tighten up their discipline. Otherwise, you can't give the Oaks too much cheap ball.
Now, this will be a test for the skipper, Aaron Farkas.
This is the side of the ground that Brazenton had trouble with because the breeze is coming across.
Oh, no, he's got the kick 20 metres out, a centimetre in on the eastern side of the ground.
So you reckon he's going to have to point it at the left post and drag it back?
Oh, I tell you what, it is the toughest angle in football. The 20-metre line on the touchline. Not a bad strike from the number 13, but that's not coming back enough.
It held its line, didn't it?
You just needed it to come back a fraction. It wasn't doing so. And it remains 14-10, Oakdale over the Oaks. In the Battle of Burragarang, the AWPM civil clock showing 35 minutes and change remaining here at Dudley Chesham Oval tonight. Tomorrow, we're off to Kirkham Park, Harvey Shepherd Field at Camden and Narellan. Coverage from 2, kick-off 2:30 tomorrow. Next week, Saturday night football. I'll just have to refer to my screen. I don't think I've got that up. Yes, I know it is the Southwest Goannas' first home game next Saturday night. And I just need to check who the opponent is.
I know
there it is.
I know the Narellan Oaks game has been changed to the Oaks because Narellan's ground's not available for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season.
That game is Southwest Goannas and Picton on Saturday night. Kick-off 6:30 next Saturday
it's
night.
on again, Michael.
At Onslow.
There was an offload.
I think I saw a couple of...
an Oakdale player picked up the player and dropped him into the ground, and then it erupted.
I don't know if you saw that. Ben Scambry came racing in from behind it and grabbed Mitchell Brasington from around the back and started pretending to throw 2 or 3 at his good mate and former captain.
You were actually talking about that last night at the season launch, that they should put on an exhibition of the two teams trying to beat each other up, but just dancing around with it. But
well, that's what Scambo's done with Mitch Brasington. He's come around from behind him and threatened to throw 2 or 3 and thrown air punches. And
like the Morris brothers did in that.
Yes, very much. That sort of thing. Threatened and, no, not going to do it.
Yeah, in that vein of the Morris brothers vein.
Yes, very much so. So next week, Saturday night, it's Southwest Goannas and Picton at Onslow Oval, 6:30 kickoff. Next Sunday, we're off to Sid Sharp to watch the Workers again take on Thilmy, the grand final rematch.
Ooh, that'd be an interesting
That's
game.
going to be a mouth-watering fixture next Sunday. That's tomorrow week, 2:30 here on Macarthur Sports Radio. We'll bring you that one from Sid Sharp Oval. And then we have a break over the Anzac Day weekend.
I'm actually going to the Roosters Dragons game at the SCG.
Yeah, well, we were chatting during the week. I mentioned to the silent partner that might consider going to the Tigers Manly game at Parramatta.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
The early game on Anzac Day.
Battle of the Wooden Spooners.
Well, okay, it looks like Aaron Farkas has been given a caution here from Damien Briscoe and Mitchell Brasington, I'm assuming acting captain, or receiving a caution. I'm assuming he's acting captain even though Jason Thompson's out there. I'm assuming Brazo's the captain. Just a
Unless
caution.
he was the one that instigated it all.
Well, I've noticed Mitchell's been there a couple of times, I'm assuming as captain. Penalty goes to the Tigers for a high tackle. After all of that,
Oh, here it comes.
ball crashing into the roof of the broadcast box above us. Actually, I should find out. We might see if we can find out from the club officials. I know they've been working on a big grandstand on that western side of the ground. Yeah, I'm getting a nod that he's being still in planning stages. Is it okay? I know that council.
Yeah, these things sit with council forever.
I
We'll
know.
probably all be retired or moved away by the time that the council approve it. But anyway, it'd be good if it happens.
Yeah, it certainly would be great if they can make that
The
happen.
council should start spending money on local grounds. Like Narellan's getting an upgrade at the moment.
Yes.
It's getting a second international field
Yes.
put in, and that's why our field's unavailable for the first couple of rounds.
Yeah.
Because the rain obviously has put a lot of the construction work behind.
Yeah. Well, I was out at Narellan.
Camden's getting a new grandstand or something too.
Yes. That ball was very flat to Graham there, Josh Graham. Very flat ball from Kyle Bell. The Oakdale fans wanted a whistle, didn't come. There's the skipper, Farkas. And he gets the penalty, and I think there's going to be a caution here to Oakdale.
And a penalty to the Oaks.
Yes, I think Oakdale will get a caution here. That's two in quick
It'll be getting to
succession.
the stage where Briscoe's going to have to talk to the two captains and maybe say to them, listen,
I think
it's
that
getting a
might,
bit out of hand.
I think that might have been just back here a moment
'cause
ago.
it's sort of, it looks like it's getting a bit out of hand and somebody's going to be sitting down shortly, I think.
Yeah, I think that was the last discussion that was had.
Yeah, keep going and somebody will be sitting out.
Yeah, somebody will be taking a seat on the sideline. So, yes, that's certainly the next option, I would suspect, for the referee this evening, who, to be fair, has had a pretty solid game. Hasn't had any major issues to address so far. Has been quite a few penalties, as we mentioned, but certainly no significant flare-ups tonight. Good hands down the right-hand side. Scambry for the Tigers inside the 20. Pulled to ground, 17 metres out. There's three of them there in white and black and red to stop him. It's unusual seeing Oakdale in a white, predominantly white jersey tonight, as we do.
It's easy to see, easy to pick them though, isn't it, in that white jersey?
Certainly is a lot easier, but very unusual. Not what we're used to seeing for Oakdale. As we see the Tigers on the attack, Daniel Smith got the ball away. It was a miracle pass. What a play there from Daniel King. The Tigers are in. They're level at DCO. But Daniel King on the replay for F2 Sportswear. What a pass. That was outstanding.
And seriously, the pass is only as good as the player taking that line,
Oh.
and he hit the ball at pace. And once he got it, there was no way in the water was going to get stopped that close to the line.
Yeah, the F2 Sportswear replay showed that was the run from Smith was a good one. He had the Oakdale defence backpedaling and second guessing.
And then once he offloaded,
The offload, the underarm round the corner offload was exquisite. And the try was scored to level the scores at 14. Josh Instatoris running onto it. Josh Instatoris with the try. That's the sort of work that he can do, Josh Instatoris. That's where he's in his best.
and as we said, Oaks had to be the first one to score, and they scored twice.
First and second, now Farkas.
This is a much easier kick than his last one, but we're saying that it's still not an easy kick.
That's three.
It's not an easy kick, but it's an easier one than his last one.
He drills that one from adjacent to
See,
the
I
uprights.
told you it was an easy kick.
16-14, Tigers
Does
lead.
that mean I get back to one now because I can redeem and take one off?
No,
No,
no.
okay.
Still half an hour remaining on the AWPM civil clock. It's the Oaks 16, Oakdale 14. Oakdale did skip out to a 14-6 lead just before half-time. Let's go around the grounds for the beer shed, Craig. What's happening? Oh, we'll do that in just a second. The ball's gone dead from the kick-off. It's gone dead from the kick-off. So we'll have a line drop out at the southern end. What's happening around the grounds, Craig, for the beer shed?
Melbourne Storm 30, Bulldogs 6.
Okay, thanks for that. Earlier this afternoon, Gold Coast big winners over Newcastle on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, pulled their pants down and smacked their bottoms.
Yes, good and proper. And the match tonight.
That's now 3 in a row from Newcastle, three defeats in a row.
And
So they played the Tigers and the rut set in, and then the Dragons beat them, and now the Titans.
yes.
I don't think it gets any easier for Newcastle either.
No, I'd have to look at the draw. I haven't paid too much attention to it in recent weeks. Been looking at local competitions around the region and around the state. No, you're just saying.
I know Jermaine Hall's out there, but
Yeah.
the other recruit from Narellan hasn't got on the field as yet.
Not Jacob McKinnon. No, I haven't seen him so far, but they're on the attack now. Oakdale trying to restore parity. Oh, great run there. He's in beside the uprights. That was far too easy. Slicing open the Tigers' defence. 18-16, if you don't mind. Return serve.
Yeah, they just fell off him, didn't they? The defence on that line. I mean, the Oaks have been defending really stoutly on the line for most of the night, but that just opened up and let him go straight through the gap.
Just confirmed the try scorer there, but that was an easy run there for the Tigers. That was far too easy. Oakdale cruising through to score a soft try to retake the lead, 18-16. We've still got, what do we got?
28 minutes.
Just under 29 minutes remaining on the AWPM civil clock.
No.
Let's chase up who that was that scored the try, but that run was far too easy from Oakdale.
It's hard to read the numbers on the back of their jerseys,
Yeah.
unless they're right up close.
That replay for F2 Sportswear, proud clothing suppliers of MacArthur Sports Radio in
I'm just wondering if
2021.
it's this guy that's walking back with the water bottle that they just walked back with
Yeah.
then.
Just trying to, he's turned the wrong way. Conversion is successful from Mitchell Brasington. It could have been the lock forward there, Kyle Fraser.
No, number 4,
Before that was Josh Burke
Josh Burke.
with his second.
We should have recognised that step. Yeah, conversion was successful.
Certainly was from Mitchell Brasington. Doesn't miss those from there. So it's now 20 points to 16, back to that 4-point buffer in favour of the Tigers' opponents. Brasington 3 from 5 tonight. Aaron Farkas 2 from 3.
Still though, Mike, 4 points is not enough lead.
Oh, neither.
And it's not enough lead at the moment, and it's not that bad to come back from.
Well, neither coaching bench would be comfortable with where they're at. The Tigers, when they got in front, Nick Crouch would have been urging his boys to continue on, and Reeves and Lewis would have been wanting more from their side. Penalty to the workers for knees in the ruck. But they would have wanted more from their side, so still plenty to play for. Over 25 minutes remaining in this one. And it'll be a grandstand finish. How fitting would it be if a certain number 6 had to kick a conversion to win the game? Deja vu all over, I think. But that's still a long way to go. There's the replacement, Ben Whitehouse.
Man, I wanted to be a draw and then somebody kick a 40-metre field goal for a 2-pointer.
Well, you know who that'd be. It could only be one person, couldn't it?
No, the way that you're telling me it could be the Oaks is 5'8" too. He's supposed to be a good kicker.
Dear. One day you'll believe me, Craig. One day. Middo will prove me right. And you're like, I never knew he could do that. Told you so. Tigers on the defensive. Mitchell Brasington fires it left. They've got numbers out this way. That's a good run there from the centre, Mitchell Goff. Hasn't had a busy game tonight by his standards, Mitchell Goff. Plays it 2 metres out from the line. Steadman. Mitchell Brasington takes on the line. Fires a ball to the right-hand side. Shovel ball taken by the Tigers. 2 metres out from their own line at the southern end. Damien Briscoe urging the Oakdale defence back. Is he going to penalise them this time? No.
The Oaks are about to make an interchange. Josh Graham's coming off.
It looks like Kyle Green.
And I think, yeah, Kyle Green's coming on for Josh Graham.
Yeah, the final 25 minutes. I'd say that'd see Josh out for the night.
Well, it is
I
his
would
first.
reckon.
It is his first game for a couple of years of football. So,
Well, no, I'm just thinking.
no, but I'm saying it's his first game back
Yeah.
in a couple of seasons. So
Yeah,
to get as much game time out of him in game one,
yeah.
I think you're right. It could be the end of his night.
Well, also with the way football is these days, 25 minutes to go, you'd be looking to put your start
Yeah, you'd be
in
looking
front
for your next bloke to come back on
and probably finish out from there. The kick was taken,
Ah.
was not taken by anybody. Mitchell Brasington ends up with it on the bounce. I went to say for the Tigers. It's going to take me a week or two to get used to that.
Yeah, it's going to take you a while to get used to.
Yeah.
And it's not only this game; other games you'll be doing the same thing when you
Yes.
see players from other
Gonna be
clubs.
checking myself more than once, I can tell. When you see players in certain colours for so long and they change house, it takes a bit of adjusting.
Well, Alex Bush has come back on now
yeah,
for
Bush is back on, so that'll probably see
Jermaine Hall,
Jermaine Hall. That's it. I was trying to think who it was. As we see
Kyle Fraser.
Fraser making a break upfield. Good run from Kyle Fraser. Only a few metres out. To the right-hand side they come, the Tigers defence. Mitchell Brasington tried to step. They were awake to that. Got the ball out the back. Fraser put it down. Went to ground. It'll be a turnover on the last. This one's right on a knife's edge.
Yeah, I think the idea was right, but the execution wasn't quite there. I don't think Kyle Fraser was expecting the ball to come back at him that quickly.
No, he sort of grabbed at it a little bit, didn't he?
Plenty of time. 23 minutes.
So we'll have got about 3 minutes left until the drinks break. We've got a player down receiving attention at the moment. The rule hasn't changed from last year, Craig. The drinks break at 20 minutes.
It's still drinks break at 20 minutes, but the referee determines when there's a break in play.
Yeah.
And the water runners are not supposed to be out there like now.
Yeah.
The only one, when there's a try scored, the water runners can go out.
Well, we did have a stoppage for an injury, so I think that gives the runners a brief opportunity to get out.
A message today with the rules in it.
Yes, it's hard to keep up with all these new rules. I think you're just digging through to find those. Yeah, you just bring that up.
Says, well, times have gone back to the standard match times. Trainers still cannot run out water bottles on the field during play. So games still have a 2-minute drink break around the half-time mark in the half period.
Yeah.
Trainers can run water out after a try scored while there's a kick for goal, but the water bottles are required to be in crates.
Yep.
And bottles individually labelled with the players' names. Sharing and drink bottles is not allowed.
Yeah. Well, we did have a stoppage in play for an injury, so I think that qualifies as a...
Probably qualifies for like a penalty or a breaking play, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah, certainly not for a penalty or in the defensive set. That's not allowed, but...
Yeah, they just can't run out like they used to and just run out and give somebody a drink for the
Yeah.
and run a message.
Yeah,
It's got to be, in a certain break.
Yeah. Looks like we've got a Tigers player, Farkas, down receiving attention.
There was a timely penalty for the Oaks.
Yeah, well, it's an error for Oakdale. It was a fumble there that cost them.
And it's in good field position for the Oaks to
Certainly is.
work something.
About 30 metres or 25 metres out, just to the right of centre field, taking the northern end, the Burragarang Road end of the ground. Tomorrow over at Kirkham, only about 10 minutes from here. Kirkham Park, Camden, Narellan tomorrow. Real grudge match there. The ball comes out. Now, what's he going to say? It's gun. Now, there's a throwback to the 1980s. Let's see if you can work out what that ruling was. I haven't seen that since the 1980s when I was in nappies.
He's packing the scrum again.
Yeah, it'll be a Tigers feed once again. See if you can work out what the ruling was.
No idea.
In and out the same tunnel.
That happens in Group 6 every scrum that's packed. Obviously, Mr. Briscoe has come back from a higher level of refereeing.
It looked like Alec Bush had legs across in the tunnel and the ball sort of screwed around.
It just sort of hit the leg and come straight out.
Yeah, basically that's what happened. And referee Briscoe sensibly said, no, we'll just do it again. Tigers keep the feed.
Get your feed back.
Nobody did anything wrong, but let's just do it again. Alec, wait for the ball to get in before you push. And we'll just pack the scrum, which they have, and the Tigers have it now, although,
And lost
as
it in
I
a one-on-one
say
strip.
that, Oakdale come away with it.
The Mike Sheen commentator's curse.
Looks like the two number 11s going at it there. This time, Vandermeulen wins out over Cam Graham, who's back on the field, and the error comes. In fact, it was Scambry. Ball's on the deck. Is it going to be play on? Yes, it is. Play on the call. Mitchell Brasington.
And then it's
Now
just
we
in a
get-
one-on-one strip, which now is going to take the knock on.
Now they're going to play the knock on from Oakdale. So the Tigers will get the scrum feed.
That was a little bit of comedy capers, that one.
It was a little bit. So 20 and a half minutes remaining. So we'll have a drinks break very shortly. So the next stoppage in play, we'll have a drinks break. Farkas from the base of the scrum goes to Scambry on his right. Pulled down 23 metres out. Into dummy half Rumsby. Farkas takes on the line. And the referee's acknowledged he's heard the hooter. So at the end of this set, or we have a knock on, whatever comes first. And we have a break in play. We'll have a drinks break. But the Tigers attacking a 12-man line. There's an Oakdale player down. Could be Mitchell Goff. So we see big defence there from the workers. Big hit made there. 15 metres out from the line. They go to the left-hand side. That's Kyle Green. Put on the back pedal. Quick smart. 18 metres out on the last. Arm goes up from Briscoe. They come to the left-hand side. Nice little kick through from Chris Green. And that'll be a turnover for Oakdale. Have it a few metres out from their own line. They'll work it out of their own end. So when the ball goes, and we have a break in play, we'll have a short drinks break. That could have been a penalty for a high tackle. Referee said across the shoulder it was okay. Oakdale appealing for a penalty, not getting it this time. It looks like it's the front rower there in Archie Allen going for a run. He's been good tonight, the number 10. Looking for a penalty, doesn't get it. Bush, Mitchell Brasington gets it downfield, holds up in the breeze. Taken easily, Daniel Smith, he's been very good tonight. Beats the McLean tackle. Takes on the second, won't get through the line. He'll play it about...
Yeah, he's been very strong at fullback, hasn't he, tonight?
Yeah, he'd certainly be in contention for some votes. As we see the Tigers now just short of halfway. It's been very good, the Tigers number 1 tonight. As they work over halfway. Now, Rumsby goes to the left-hand side. There's a man ready-made to slide into the halves if needed. It'll be a slow play the ball here. One of the Tigers took a blow as he went to ground. Referee calls time.
I'd say now they'd have their drinks break.
I would
Saying there's a bit of a breaking play, maybe not.
Maybe not. I'm going with not, but...
And Touchy's gone on to probably say we need a drink.
Yeah. So I'm not sure whether
Briscoe's doing it the right way by there's a breaking play, but
Yeah, that's right.
is this considered a breaking play?
Now I think he's... Yep,
Yeah, he's saying tackle 4, we'll have a drink.
we'll have a drinks break. So we'll take a short break here on Macarthur Sports Radio. Oakdale 20, the Oaks 16 inside the final 20. Stay with us.
Give your club some exposure and publicity. Think of the reach you can have with live radio. Macarthur Sports Radio is the answer you're looking for. With years of experience and extensive sports knowledge, we can provide coverage of a single match or event through to a full season's coverage. From round 1 to a grand final win, there's a range of packages available for clubs and sponsors alike. Let us know about your club or competition through macarthursportsradio.com or find us on Facebook. We're passionate to get behind our expanding stable of sports, so become a part of our family today.
If you need to get your uniforms in order for the next season, then make sure your first stop is F2 Sportswear. F2 Sportswear can design a new strip for your team with a range of sports covered, and we can do business wear as well. F2 Sportswear can produce a kit for the smaller squad right through to a full sporting or corporate wardrobe, with quick turnarounds on orders being completed in around 4 weeks. Head to f2sportswear.com.au for more information or a quote on your next uniform. F2 Sportswear are proud sponsors and clothing suppliers of Macarthur Sports Radio.
And we thank them for their support, F2 Sportswear. Let's have a look at the AWPM civil clock. 17:41 remaining as we get underway for the final passage of play tonight. It's Oakdale 20, the Oaks 16. I'm Mike Sheen. That's Craig Davis. Great to have you along tonight here on Macarthur Sports Radio. Match 1, round 1, season 2021. We are away for the new season. The kick downfield on the last. He didn't know much about that. It's almost bounced back to Burragarang Road.
Yeah, they let it bounce then.
That's always dangerous.
But because the wind was behind it, it was always going to, if it wasn't taken, it was always going to run dead.
Going to run, and it did. Almost ran out of the complex into the Burragarang Road. Workers have it now, 35 metres out from their own line, centre field. Starting 13, pretty well back on the park. As I see Cruz Robinson about to come on in jersey 8 for the Workers. Looks like Bush over halfway, going for a run at ease. And,
He looks quite solid, doesn't he, the number 8?
Robinson, I haven't seen him before. He's one of the new signings in the off-season, so quite a bit of research for us to be done heading into the next few weeks. As we see the Workers.
So if any of you people out there know these players or know their background, let us know.
Yeah, any of the club officials who are listening, drop us a line, let us know. Nice to get a little bit of intel on these new players and new signings. Craig, I'm sure you'll be able to...
We promise we won't tell anybody.
Honest. Trust me, I'm a broadcaster. So we're down inside the final 15 and a half minutes of this one. It's a 4-point game. Oakdale with their noses in front, but if you're on the black and golds, I wouldn't be throwing away my tickets just yet. Great game tonight. Oakdale fans wanted a forward pass. Referee Briscoe not obliging. He's had a good game tonight, Damien Briscoe. Been in control of everything, returning to Group 6 after a few years away. That ball's taken a wicked bounce. Levi McLean flicks it back infield. Trapped by Jake Stedman. Calls McLean around. Farkas around the hips. That's how you do it. Around the hips, no way there. He was getting through.
I think there's a new thing that we've got to do this year too, Mike. You know how you're talking about 3, 2 and 1 for the players?
Yes.
I reckon we've got to do a 3, 2 and a 1 for shit haircuts.
A dodgy haircut.
Yeah, the dodgy haircut.
Surely we can get a barber or somebody on board to come online with something there.
No, mate, there's some dodgy haircuts I've seen out there tonight.
Hey, we know about rough heads. I'm sure
we've got a head for radio.
And a body to go with it. Thank you very much. There's Robinson, hit and spin through the line, 29 metres out. Bush into dummy half, goes right side. Nice short run there. Ball out the back, I think that was Matthew Brasington, keeps it alive. Shovel ball, Fraser once again had a bobble and a bauble and put it down.
Sometimes it's better just to take the tackle than not to offload, and that was one time then. There was no need for Brasington to throw that pass. And then when there was one mistake compounded by another, and then Kyle Fraser couldn't pick the ball up.
It was a poor pass in Fraser's defence. It wasn't the best pass.
There's no way he was going to pick it up. The only thing he could have done was fallen on it.
Yeah. Let it bounce and then just fall on the ball.
But it's easy for us to say that. We're up here in the ivory tower.
That's right. Up here in the broadcast box, we haven't missed a tackle in years. Penalty to the Tigers.
Yeah, Mark has got to get away. Mark has got to get away from the play of the ball, but he just stayed there and went over the top.
Penalty just on halfway. I think we've got our final 13 on the field for the last, 13:45 for AWPM Civil. Score remains Oakdale 20, the Oaks 16. I'm Mike Sheen, that's Craig Davis. Great to be back at the footy for another season. Trust you're enjoying the coverage on Macarthur Sports Radio. Match 1 of the year, round 1. Kick-off down in the Wallandilly. Only minutes away. Thirlmere and Picton kicking off tonight as
it's always
well.
good. It's always good to start off with the rivalry round, isn't it?
Although I did speak to the group officials about this in the off-season. I think a game like this is great on a Saturday night, but if you had, for example, Narellan and Mittagong playing tomorrow and save Camden versus Narellan for, say, round 3, make that your headline match.
Yeah, but that takes away from the rivalry round is what they're looking at, having a whole round of rivals.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. If you spread the 4 derbies out over 4 weeks, you get a blockbuster game every week over the opening month of the season.
But then when you've got times like Mittagong who don't really have a rival at the moment that's in close proximity to them, so they sort of miss out on that marquee match at the weekend.
It's a tricky one. It is a tough one, but I certainly think that if you'd had 1 or maybe 2 games in the opening round of the season and then had the others spread out over another week or 2, you could certainly get more interest in these local derbies when they're held.
Yeah,
Instead of
quite
having all 4
possibly.
at once, if you have 1 a week or 2 a week, 1 Saturday, 1 Sunday over the opening fortnight, you can certainly get a lot of interest in the big games. And then you throw in the games like Camden and Picton, Camden and Campbelltown, those sorts of games. Thelma and Mittagong always draws a big crowd. Picton and Mittagong likewise.
It's always entertaining.
Yeah, those sort of games, if you make that your headline act each week, and then the draw will sort out. There's a big tackle.
Well, they had back in the 70s, the match of the day.
Yeah.
Have the best match being played, one good game each weekend.
Yeah, and the other games, there might be a second or a third game that's equally important based on the ladder.
There was a poor kick then,
It's gone out on the full, so it'll be a turnover to the Tigers.
right close to halfway.
Yeah, 11 and a half minutes for AWPM Civil. New sponsor in 2021. Welcome David Green and the crew. Good luck tonight to the Roosters. They're kicking off right now down at Thelmy Sports Ground.
And welcome back, Picton.
Yes, great to have the Magpies back. We know who they are in the black and white. And they will remind us in good time who they are. As we see the Tigers on the attack. Just trying to bring up the right screen here to check those early scores, if there are any from the Dilly tonight. See if we've got any information from down there. Don't think there is any at the moment. As we see, I just looked away. I think there was a high tackle there, Craig.
I think the crowd's calling for a send-off.
Yeah, as is their want.
Well, there's the break, Mike.
Yeah.
Melbourne 36, Doggies 18.
Okay, so they've kept. That's not a bad effort from Canterbury. They're going to get beaten, no doubt. But 36-18 is not a bad showing from the Doggies. Looks like Nick Crouch barking instructions. I think Nathan Rumsby was going to come from the field, but he's been told to stay out there, and there might be a bit of a reshuffle remaining. A bit of a reshuffle happening for the Tigers. Down by 4, only 15 metres out. I think they're looking for a bench are looking for a signal as to what's.
I think the player from the Axe is looking for his head.
and the coaching staff are trying to keep theirs.
But somehow I think they're having a losing battle.
Yeah, as is often the case. Farkas in the headgear to within 6 metres of the line. Plays it now. The left-hand side of the Oakdale defence. Scambry can't get through the line. Good tackle made, Mitchell Goff. Plays it back. There's Midson trying to step through the line. Midson nearly out the other side. He's good at those sort of runs, Michael Midson. There's Rumsby out of dummy half, going for a scoot. But they're awake to the number 9. Midson into dummy half, directing traffic. He'll give it out. Farkas out wide. There's a nice short ball there from the halfback in green. They read that beautifully, the Oakdale defence. But they were up to it, and I think we've got a knock-on from the Tigers. We have. Just what they didn't want. And now a penalty. No
It's
doubt.
going back the other. It's the penalty to Oakdale.
Yeah, penalty to Oakdale, no doubt, for dissent.
Yeah, I think that's what Briscoe's showing is that,
Somebody
said something to him.
Yeah, and the referees, as we know, don't appreciate any sort of feedback, complimentary or otherwise. Not that we encourage that sort of behaviour, but they don't take to that too kindly. So time off here with...
As we know, they're right when they're wrong and they're wrong when they're right, so it doesn't really matter, you know. And I mean, that's the way it goes. They make a decision. Both sides have to abide by it, whether or not they believe it, whether it is a right one or a wrong one. It's the right one. It's the right one at the time, and you just got to take it. Take it on the chin.
Cop it and move on.
We have a look at the Raiders and the Warriors. That was a blatant forward pass. The referee was in line with it. They admitted it the next day, but they had to take it because there was the try was awarded.
Yeah.
And that happens out here. Forward passes get missed all the time.
Yep.
Ones that get called aren't forward. Ones that don't get called are forward.
Yep. Happens every week in every game everywhere. So,
but it's not just rugby league. It's soccer. It's all AFL. Codes. And all codes have the umpires. They're not infallible.
No, certainly not. And I suppose the piece of advice is if we don't have the officials, we don't have a game.
No, that's it.
So we've got to have our officials, and full credit to them. They do an excellent job each week. Mitchell Brasington takes on the line, took the body hit front on. The big number 6 took that hit and took it well. Bush, Matthew Brasington puts a little dab kick over the top. Nice mark taken on centre half back by Bailey King. McLean and one other in there to make the tackle. That was Mitchell Goff. Farkas fires it out to the left-hand side. They play it just short of the 20 now. The Tigers, they need to advance to the other end of the ground. That ball's gone to ground. And that's gone forward, so scrum feed to the workers.
Yeah, Tigers didn't need that.
No, certainly not. Penalty count for Case Statewide Solar is on my sheet 12-6. And we've got time off here with a player down. 7:17 remaining for AWPM Civil. It's 2016. Oakdale over the Oaks. The Battle of Burragarang. Tomorrow the Camden Derby. Rams and Jets from 2 o'clock. Kick-off 2:30 tomorrow. The other match, the new boys in town, the Southwest Goannas. Good luck to them. They take on Campbelltown City at Fortress Fullwood in Claymore. Yeah, the two matches tomorrow afternoon. We'll have regular updates where possible from the Kangaroos game. And it looks like last year there was a big push for the electronic scoring, but this year it seems we've gone back to the paper method. I'm not sure if there's been any sort of...
I think the problem is a lot of you got to have the internet,
yes.
And some grounds are in dead spots, and it's really hard to get internet. It's hard to get internet at the Oaks. Yep. I remember when my kids were involved in the juniors, I was with Optus and couldn't get a signal at all. Then I swapped to Telstra, and I was able to get. Suddenly I'm able to get it. So depends on what network you're with. What type of equipment that you've got, whether it's 10 years old or whether it's a current thing. So
we're hopefully coming through to you loud and clear tonight, wherever you are, be it at the Oaks, Oakdale, or anywhere in between. Hope you're enjoying the coverage on Macarthur Sports Radio. Oakdale on the attack, trying to put the game to bed. Inside 7 minutes remaining. There's Jacob McKinnon. Mitchell Brasington puts it down with the line wide open. That would have sealed it. The Tigers trying to counter, going the distance. I'm sure the Tigers fans would have loved that. Seeing the big number 6, the line wide open, found the open space and put it down colder than a bath this morning.
He was put into the hole quite well, wasn't he? And the hole opened up. And I think it was the fact that he took his eye off the ball and saw the white line and thought, I'm going to score, and just took his eye off the ball, and that was it. That was the end of it.
Dodd takes it over the 30, gets the ball away. 14 short of halfway now, the Tigers. To the left-hand side, up the middle, good run over the 40 by about 4 or 5 metres. Going to go to the left-hand side. That's Kyle Bell. Good run from the replacement. Wrestle and a penalty. The Tigers bench want 10 minutes.
On the last tackle too, that was going to be the last tackle. You don't give away a penalty on the last tackle.
Tigers bench begging for a sin bin. He's going to call time here, Damien Briscoe. Kyle Fraser, I think, just having some free words with the Tigers players there. Michael Midson, ball in hand. Tigers just looking for instructions.
Can we tell somebody over there now? I mean,
We're going across the line. Everyone from everywhere else is asking.
And it looks like a bit of instruction here for Cam Graham, the second rower.
The sign aren't going to be happy. The Dogs have put 18 on it. It's 36-18, but
So we've got a score from the NRL. It was Melbourne 36, Canterbury 18. Time back on here. It's still 2016 in favour of Oakdale.
still anybody's game.
Yep. Tigers on the attack, 22 metres out.
Tigers need to score in this set of 6, and then we'll have a grandstand finish.
Midson gave it off, found his second rower in Cam Graham, the former Jet. Plays it 17, 18 metres out. Bell into dummy half. Farkas. Short ball on the unders line was a nice run there from Lakini. Tyson Lakini.
He's been strong tonight.
9 metres out. They go out of dummy half. Kyle Bell threatening the line. Only 2 metres out when he's pulled down. Midson to dummy half. Which way does he want to go? Tigers bench appealing for a penalty. Very slow play the ball. Now Midson fires it. Farkas. It's out through the hands. That was Green passing it on. Keeping it alive. Tigers on the attack. Daniel Smith. It'd be fitting if he scored the sealing try. The match leveller was there for the number 1. He'll play it 2 metres out. Short ball, try time! Tigers are in! Well, level at 20, inside 5 to go in the derby. Cam Graham.
It looked like Cam Graham.
Looks like Cam Graham gets over. What a finish we've got here at DCO. They're in beside the uprights.
I think that's just probably paid his first match payment. The club said, I don't care how much we have to pay. If he's won us the game, who cares?
Conversion from almost in front will put them in front, inside 4 to go in the first round. But what a play there. Crash ball to the right-hand side. It was try time all the way. Farkas to add the extras, or attempt to add the extras from adjacent to the uprights. Nick Crouch giving orders to the coach, the Tigers players. Pressure kick for the new captain this year, number 13. From adjacent to the uprights, 11 metres out. You'll hear the roar. He got it. It was a bit Ravi Shankar, but he put it through. 3 from 4 for the skipper tonight. Tigers 22, Workers 20.
This will be very interesting. You got to watch this short kick off. The Oaks have to be ready for it.
No, it was Tyson Lakini, in fact. Ball bouncing from the restart. Tigers fall on it inside their own 20.
He's been strong tonight, Tyson.
He's been very good, so we'll change that on our list. So the Tigers lead at 22-20 for AWPM Civil, down to 2:50 and counting on the clock. The tickety-tockies are rocking in round 1. Tigers 30 metres out from their own line. Let's see if they can hang on for the next 2.5. Or have the Workers got one more trick in their bag. They want a penalty here, the Tigers, 10 short of halfway. Bell out of dummy half. No, he wanted the offside penalty. Bell didn't get it. Long ball out wide. Finds Jake Ennis into space. Ennis over the 30. Still going Ennis. Flicks it back on the inside. Intercepted by Oakdale. That was an all-or-nothing play from the Tigers. It almost came off. The Tigers hold on. They're in front by 2, but the Workers are 90 metres away, trying to work their way back to the other end of the ground.
No penalties. They can't afford to give away a penalty.
Mitchell Goff to the outside. Can he take on his man? He won't get around him. Good defence there from the Tigers in front of the old boys. The big tackle was made there by Bailey King. Now back to the middle. That's Josh Vandermeulen, a former favourite son here at DCO. Chopped down and brought to ground. Mitchell Brasington, another one on his own 30. Clock showing 1:40 and counting. Matthew Brasington, high crossfield kick that holds up in the breeze. Anybody put a name on it? Yes. Jason Thompson kept it alive through the hands on the outside. That looks like Hamish Oxley puts a grubber kick down the wing on the western side of the ground, fielded by the Tigers. Inside 90 seconds to go. Farkas is cramping up on halfway, stretching it out. Tigers 8 short of halfway. They are up quickly. Jason Thompson was charging out of the line off the back fence. Almost an error there on Instatoris. Did well to hold on to it, the new recruit. Plays it 4 short of halfway. Tigers chant goes up, 60 seconds to go. Ball out the back. Play on the call. 43 metres to go now for a big win in this round 1 derby. What a way to start the 2021 season. Have the Workers got time to go the distance? They'll need a big play here, Green. In fact, that was Midson, plays it. Scambry down the short side, no, slung to ground. Great tackle there, Vandermeulen. Wrapped up his good mate on the last. Back it comes. Midson got the kick away under pressure, did well. It'll go dead eventually, only just. Back to the 20-for-7 tackles. We're down to 23 seconds and counting.
He should have kicked it into touch, not dead.
I think he aimed for the touchline, but got hit as he got it away. The Workers have 70 metres to go, and they've only got a matter of seconds remaining. The hooter will sound any second. Alec Bush towards the 40. He'll play it 14 short of halfway. They want a penalty. They won't get it. They go to the right-hand side. There's only seconds remaining. There's the siren in the background. The last chance saloon doors have been swung wide open and ripped off the hinges. The Tigers win a thriller. What a way to start the season. Tigers 22, Workers 20 in an epic. What a way to kick off the year. That's only the first of many.
And the last time we were here, same thing happened. Remember the last round last year, the Oaks knocked off Oakdale, leading into the semi-finals. So they've had the wood over the Workers the last couple of games they played.
What a game. 22-20 embraces all round for the Tigers faithful. The Workers disappointed, but it's match 1 of 18 for them. They'll be no doubt regrouping for next weekend. Hamish Oxley disconsolate on the field. What a game tonight, Craig. Let's do the wrap-up for the Beer Shed, Holly Lee Road, Lemire.
I still don't know who the best player is, but the guy that scored the try, Lucchini, he was strong.
Yeah.
Cam Graham was strong. The fullback, I thought Daniel Smith was
excellent.
So he's got my points, Daniel Smith.
So he gets a 3?
He'd have mine, yeah. I'd give him 3 points, 100%.
Yep, and the minor prizes, well, we can debate that in a moment. A number of key players had good games. Lucchini, as you mentioned. I thought Josh Burke was...